Hey guys, Jim Bounds at Motorhome Rehab Ranch, and we're on the back porch of the Ponderosa here. It's a beautiful, sunny fall day in shorts. I hope it's that way with you too. I hope you have a good day today. There may be another video in our database about this, but I want everyone to know how to read a DVM, digital volt meter. Okay. Now, this is the Harbor Freight, the infamous Harbor Freight digital voltmeter, and it is everything you need. Really is. Now, how did we get to this point? Let's talk about that first. Everything's kind of wrapped up in here. It's not perfectly easy to use, but it's not bad. Okay. Well, it started with a beast like this. This is a Conair brand, National Radio Institute, division of National Radio Institute Instruments. This is a tube. It's called a VTVM, vacuum tube voltmeter. So you got to plug it in the wall. You got to wait for it to warm up. And as it's warming up, it may read different. Okay. Then when you get it on, you zero the meter, get it all set up, ready to go, and we're ready to read a voltage. You used to have to go through all this. This was my dad's voltmeter, VTVM. Well, we got to the DVM, digital voltmeter, and back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was a big deal. I mean, I had a fluke, you betcha. Had my fluke meter, and I knew what to do with that fluke, and my fluke was my friend, okay? And on from there, because it was so popular, of course, they made them less money. This one is, it's a Chinese Fuzuki brand, but it's got a big readout. One of the nice things that this one has that even this one doesn't have, if you forget and leave it on, put it in the toolbox, it'll shut itself off. Ask me how I know. Okay. So a meter is a good thing to have. Now, when we were in the shop, we had this meter. For DC circuits, not AC, not the wall power. This is for DC circuits. Okay. When I come up to a coach, you go lift up the hood, hook the battery up. Hook the battery up right there. And right here. Beep. Got your LED lights on that says, okay, I'm hooked up, I got power. If I touch something that is a ground, touch the frame, you get the green light come on, right? If you touch a source, you get the red light come on. Boy, is that easy or what? Red, green, right? This is it's called a power probe. Look online, you'll see them, okay? So not only does it do that, if you want to know what the voltage is, 12.3. Let's see. Yeah, 12.43. This says 12.3. And then also, you can check ground with it. Again, if you're looking around, you want to hit a ground, this is a great little meter. It has a built-in circuit breaker, so if you do something naughty, it won't blow up. So if you're going to do a lot of it, you might want to have something like this. But at a bare minimum, you need this. Harbor Freight red DVDM. Not vacuum tube, I'm sorry, DVM, digital voltmeter. All right, and then when you look at this thing, it has, yeah, it has different scales on it. Now, if we're reading 12 volts, we're reading 12 volts DC. See on there? It says DC, and then those numbers. Now, I put it on a 20 volt scale. That means it will read anything from 0 to 20 volts. That's about what we need. Now, one nice thing about this meter, you can turn it off. You get no volts. Then you can just turn it off and leave it set. Remember I told you before, it's kind of nice if you leave it in the toolbox and it turns itself off. If you're always going to use this meter for 12 volts, you set it on 12 volts, then you just got to remember to turn it off, right? So on our coach, now this thing will do all kinds of stuff. That thing goes all the way around. And it does all kinds of stuff. But for our situation on our 12 volt electrical system is what we're talking about here. This DVM can be set on 20 volt scale, DC volt, 20 volt scale, and it will read. Now, this is that battery. Turn it on. You can have it on or off to touch it, it won't matter. You see there, it's 12.41. Now I have a meter over here that says, I've got one of the digits, this is, it's reading 12.42, 43. So, right? This thing's for $5.99 or something, right? If you can do this, when you buy this thing, get 2 screws on the back, put a 9 volt battery in it. And if you turn it off, it'll last for years. So you get this thing and you hook it up to your battery and get it to read 12 volts. Find your DC scale, find the 20 volt scale, put it on DC. And I'd almost tell you you're going to leave it there. Now, on here, there's going to be 3 holes to connect the wires to. I'll show you. See, there's 3 holes right there. The top one says current 5 amp max. We're not worried about current. I don't want to confuse us with any facts. What we want is the bottom one that says common ground. You hook the ground to that one. And then the one that says volt, milliamp, all that other stuff, we hook to that one. Okay? And now we're ready to read voltage. Lift up your engine front cover on the passenger side, find your battery, put this one on the negative, that one on the positive. By the way, if you put them backwards, all that'll happen is, here, I'll show you. I'm going to hook up the negative to the positive and the positive to the negative. That's the wonderful thing about these DVMs. You can do that. What does it read? Negative 12.51. So you can't hurt anything. Isn't that nice? So learn how to use this on 20 volt scale on DC. You may never need it on anywhere else. Now it'll do some other things that we'll talk about, okay? But there's nothing that this will do that this will not do. It might be easier. You can probe. This one you're going to have to either clip it to or connect it to your ground, right? So it's a little bit cumbersome, but it will do everything you need to do. So in your ditty bag on packing for your motorhome, always have a digital voltmeter in, because if you call me and we need to know something, I'm going to ask you to pull out your DVM, and you need to have it. Really important. Okay? So over the years, they've made it so simple. See, I just laid it down, didn't turn it off. So they've made it over the years so easy to find out what your voltage is. Okay, the meter will do other things. I would rather you just are fully familiar with that thing used on DC 20-volt scale. You get good at that. If you do, if you want to get real adventurous, set it over here on AC 200-volt scale. Okay? Stick that in the wall. Either one, doesn't matter. And you'll read the voltage of your wall, current. Advanced. There's also a setting on your meter is over here on ohms, 20,000 volts. You can see right there, 20K resistance in ohms. And when you touch those together, now you can see that it reads nothing. I touch them together, it goes to 0. Open them, close them. What that's doing, this is checking continuity. Now, you can't ever use voltage. It's got to be dead. Because what you're looking for is the fuse good? Okay, is the wire good? Okay, you're not checking any voltage. Because if you do, you'll pop the fuse inside it. Don't do that. That's why I said, let's not confuse ourselves with any facts. If we want to go, if you're in a situation that you got to use ohms, I'll do another video talking about continuity and Ohm's law and all that stuff. Right now, if I don't get to that video and you're in a situation and you call me and you have your voltmeter and you know how to get the 20-volt DC scale, okay, I'll tell you how to find it with ohms with this. Or, like I said, I'm going to do a video soon, and if there is a video in the database, go ahead and look at that, because that's what I would tell you. So many things that folks have that they never use. Why? Because they just don't know. They don't know all the flexibility. I'm the same thing with my cell phone. I mean, right now, I'm using my iPhone 13 to talk to you. This thing will do more stuff. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. The technology has gone nuts. We don't use half of it because we don't know any better. Okay? Not that we're stupid. It's not that you're stupid if you don't know how to use a voltmeter, but you can use your phone all day. There's probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 transistors in here. There's about, what was that number? 13 billion transistors in your cell phone. Learn how to use this little booger, especially for your motorhome. You'd be surprised on what other things you can do. Again, if you're on that AC reading, you can do your house voltage. It'll read maximum. This one has a maximum reading of 250 volts AC, so that means you can read your 220 with it. Very flexible little thing here. I should ask Harbor Freight for some advertising dollars for this, but I tell you what, man, technology has got to the point that you'll get a electrician come to your house. If Doug would come to your house, this is what he'd carry. If he had to do any more, he would go back and he'd have other meters, and he'd know how to use them and things like that. But 95% of problems with electrical issues and stuff can be found with this. So go get one. Give them out as Christmas presents. Great stuff. Look, thanks for your time. In the future, if you call me, say if you have your meter, and you say, well, no, don't. Say, well, I'm going to ask you to go find a meter. I've spent so much time trying to make up something, how to find if you got voltage. And if the Indians are surrounding us, we'll do it. But man, brother, make your life so much easier to have little boogers. If this was informational of any sort, put like. hit like and share and those things. If you're on Patreon, there you go, man. All you ranch hands, take this down. You don't already have your meter, brother. Get that thing right now. And if you're not a ranch hand, but you got something out of this, and you'd like to see some more of this stuff, get involved. Take a look at our website. There's a bunch of it that's available to you to see some of the stuff. And when you're a ranch hand, you have much easier availability to the entire file. So take a look. Get a meter, gentlemen and ladies. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.